Dodgers, Yankees, Braves, Padres, Sox, White Sox, Mets, Twins, Rays. Wonder how the White Sox chances fare after they lost Eloy. Tore his pec out 5 to 6 months.
Oh boy, that hurt me when I heard that.
I don't know how to make it because
Eloy's my guy, bro.
He's not gonna come back till like the playoffs.
Like I know the White Sox are speaking foolish, talking about they're the best team in the AL.
Of course.
But Eloy is my guy. His swing in MLB The Show,
broken.
I mean, it doesn't matter what card. You're gonna hit a home run. It's almost guaranteed. Yeah, bro.
Damn, that's real sick too. Oh, he's not a lefty. Who's a lefty in their lineup that I keep thinking of?
White Sox outfielder lefty. Nomar Mazara, maybe? Is he still on the White Sox?
I'm looking at their roster. He's not an outfielder then, because the only one is Adam Eaton. Definitely
Adam Eaton's an outfielder.
No, I know he's not the one I'm thinking of.
Their lineup, their catcher is Yasmani. First base is Jose Abreu. Second base is who's their second baseman? Leori Garcia. Nick Madrigal, rookie. Yeah. That's why I couldn't remember him. Shortstop Tim Anderson. Third base Yohan. Left field.
Oh, Yohan bat switch. Maybe that's the guy I'm thinking of. Because I saw a guy hitting lefty the other day. He hit a rocket.
Oh, another one of the most underrated cards. Like
Yohan.
In MLB The Show, any Yohan card you use, Battle Royale, you throw a Yohan in there. People are afraid of him.
Seeing him in there.
People are afraid of him. His regular live series card is like a 77. You throw him in there, people shiver. They're like, oh, he's about to go deep.
Oh, damn. Here we go again. Yo, I'm mad excited for this second half of the NBA season, bro. We're finally getting down to like the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
The Knicks are actually like trending upward again. They dropped 130 on the Magic. No, on the Wizards the other night, and they play them tonight again. Trying to wash 2 in a row. Get to that 23 and 22. I'm mad. We're fighting Miami and Charlotte for the 4 and 5 spot. Because if we lock like a 5, we're set. Because I would want to play Charlotte.
Not really.
Yeah, we got to play Charlotte.
Well, now, yeah, because LaMelo's out.
Oh, LaMelo's. Yeah, no. Yeah, and then, but they're going to trend downward. They're going to go down. That means we probably play Miami because they have Oladipo and they're probably going to go 4-3.
Oh no! If with Miami with Oladipo, they're probably going to end up with the 5 seed. Like they're going to go on. They're already the 5 right now. They're going to go on a run.
They're on a 5 right now.
Oh, then yeah, you guys need to go up then.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we got to get like an actual good seeding right now.
Yeah, don't catch them. Make sure you're like the 7 seed at worst.
Yeah, we don't want to have to play them first round because that's an immediate exit.
It's not even first round. You're gonna have to play them in the play-in tournament.
Oh no! But that's if we have to play them like.
Oh yeah,
if they're middle
5
tier.
Actually.
If they're 5, because it's 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm pretty sure, right? Play-ins.
7. I think
7, 8, 9, 10.
Is it? Yeah, 7 to 10.
Yeah. So we get the 6. I don't think the 6 is in.
6 to 11. No, it can't be 6 to 11. That don't make sense.
No, I think it's 7 through 10 because 7 and 10 play, and then 8 and 9 they get the last 2 seeds, and they start the actual 8 playoff.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. 7, 8, 9, 10, and then
do
winner
whatever
of 9
you guys can do.
Goes 8.
Do whatever you can do. I'm telling you, do whatever you can do.
There's 2 teams I don't want to play first round. It's Miami. 3 teams I don't want to play first round: Miami, the Bucks, and Brooklyn.
You don't want to play the Sixers either. Y'all would get destroyed.
We came close against the Sixers a couple times. I mean, there's no Embiid. That's the only thing.
Embiid will be back.
I'll take my chances. If any, at worst case scenario, we push him to 6 or 7 games. And
I
then they
wouldn't
got
even go that
tired.
far.
Then they get tired for the next round. You got to play the next round. They're gonna be gassed. You sweep them.
Here's what I think about that. If Embiid doesn't come back, Ben Simmons is going to go nuts on you guys. And I don't care what you guys say.
Oh,
Nobody on the Knicks can guard him up.
I know,
Straight up.
and I know.
He's gonna drop 40 a game on dunks alone.
I don't understand
He's gonna
it
go
either.
crazy.
Because really, like all you got to do is just crowd him in the paint. He's not gonna do anything else.
Yeah,
He could pass
let
it
him
out. He's
stand
gonna
at the
get
3-point line
if
and
you
do
don't
whatever he
get
wants and let him drive.
if he doesn't get the 20 the 30 40 points that you're saying he does, he's gonna get 20 assists. Because now everybody on that team can shoot. Did they get Redick back? They said they were gonna get
Redick's on the Mavs. He got traded to the Mavs today. So that's not like big news.
Oh, okay. Then that was later. Whatever.
He got traded like at like right before the game to the Mavs, which means the Mavs. You mean Luka is probably gonna go up in the MVP standings now because now he has another shooter.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that's more assists. You know Harden's leading right now, right?
Yeah, he leads in like everything except for points.
Well,
I think he's like number 2 in steals. He's number 1 in assists. I think he has like averages like 8 rebounds a game.
Yeah, he's averaging almost a triple-double a game. Like it's very close to a triple-double a game.
He's probably not going to get there, but if he goes crazy like he's been doing the last 2 weeks.
Redick got bought out. Yeah, that was 2 days ago. Yeah.
I thought he
said he got bought by the Mavs. Yeah. No, he said he got
traded.
He got traded?
Yeah, we're like two like a second round pick
for a buyout. Oh, I'm not updated enough yet. Hold on. Oh, I didn't put. Did I put Toronto for Norman Powell?
He's got traded to the Blazers.
Oh, I gotta put that.
Yeah, it says the New Orleans Pelicans are sending JJ Redick and Nicolo Melli to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for James Johnson, Wes Iwundu, and a 2nd-round pick, 2021 2nd-round pick.
Oh. That's a good pickup for them anyway. Yeah, you read about.
That's what I'm saying, because they don't have shooters like that. It's really just him. It's really just Luka, Porzingis. They're the 2 shooters. You have who else is there? It was James Johnson who could shoot. But they traded him for JJ Redick.
All I know is they got a bunch of Europeans. That's all I know about that team. All like Europeans, all Euro. 25 and 18. Yeah, Portland's gonna go up because now they got a healthy backcourt again. Who did they get?
Watching that Nets game.
Who did they play the other
day? Rodney Hood and somebody else. Rodney Hood and is it Simons? No, I don't think they would trade Simons.
Anthony Simons. No, it was Rodney Hood, and the guy they traded was the guy from last year who was cooking from 3. He has like long hair, locks. No, not locks, like twists. Damn, who do you get traded for? I'm gonna look it up right now. Hold on. Blazers. Raptors trade Powell to the Blazers for Gary Trent Jr. and Rodney Hood. There it is.
Gary Trent Jr. That's what it was.
That's a good pickup though, because they gave away 2 like off the bench like mediocre shooters, scorers, for a guy who's gonna like be a consistent shot for him.
I like Rodney Hood a lot.
He's good.
If the Nets,
he came off the bench a couple times.
If the Nets said straight up, "Oh, we're getting Rodney Hood in a deal," depending on who they give up, I'll be happy. Because let's be real, Rodney Hood, what he did in the finals a couple of years back, my boy was balling out, and that was against the Warriors that lock. And he was out here getting buckets. I mean, easy too. It's just that he's so inconsistent, and that's what kills him. All right, let's get it started. Episode 11. Episode 11. Out here.
1-1. 11.
It won't be backwards this time because you can't have it backwards.
Not the single digits, no. Hey, it's your boys, D-Rod and Shaniac coming to you live. Episode 11, D-Rod and Shaniac Sports Podcast. Today is Thursday, March 25th. It is only about 3 hours past the NBA trade deadline, give or take, because honestly, Shane, there have been moves today that have shocked me that have kind of made me question what teams are looking at now. Some teams who are non-playoff factors are now looking at some serious threats for the play-in at least.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a handful, maybe 6 teams, maybe 5 or 6 teams that made some major splashes. But between the day it opened, about March 10th, there was already like huge discussions, big names already involved. There were a lot of big men who were like still waiting on buyouts. Kyle Lowry was already kind of having a shaky, couple of weeks with Toronto's front office and just his future with the team. He's going to be a free agent this summer regardless. So maybe Toronto was looking to get some trade value for him.
That's what they were trying to.
Didn't look like it turned out in their favor, though. I mean, they fielded some offers. It just didn't go their way. They rejected some monster. Actually, they got rejected some of their monster offers because they were trying to really get some steals for Kyle Lowry.
They were trying to swindle people, and it wouldn't work.
The Lakers, the Clippers, the Heat, the Sixers. There were a lot of teams, big teams, playoff teams involved in that right now. And
let me ask you a question before we get into this. Let me ask you a question because I was watching The Jump earlier today, right?
What's that?
And Richard Jefferson said that the Heat saying no to the Raptors because the Raptors wanted Tyler Hero in that deal for Kyle Lowry. The Heat saying no shows that Tyler Hero is worth more than Kyle Lowry.
You really think that, though?
Kendrick Perkins was like, no, that means Kyle Lowry is worth more because they were asking for Tyler Hero. Richard Jefferson said, no, because Tyler Hero, when they asked for Tyler Hero, they said, absolutely not. We're not going to give you Tyler Hero for Kyle Lowry. Why would we do that? So whose side are you
Jefferson,
on?
That's Jefferson is correct.
Richard Jefferson said, no, it shows that Tyler Hero is worth more than Kyle Lowry.
Richard Jefferson said that?
That's what the Heat saying no to Tyler Hero.
Okay. Yeah. Okay,
Kendrick Perkins it is. No, that means Kyle Lowry means more because they were asking for him. He's like, yeah, but I wouldn't give him up. That means he's worth more.
But it was the Heat initially asking. No, it wasn't the Heat initially asking. It was Toronto asking for Hero. You said
Tyler
right?
Hero, yeah, and the Heat said absolutely not.
Nah, I don't think I have to. I don't think I could vibe with that. Honestly, Tyler Hero is a younger, like, good shot. Played real well in the playoffs. Really slow start to the season though, and that's just youth. That'll probably catch up to him eventually. But Kyle Lowry's pretty established in the league. There were a couple offers that I was seeing some teams going after him that I felt kind of made sense. There were a couple that were really over the top, like 2 first rounders and a starter for Kyle Lowry. That's 35 years old. You got to think about the value that you're going to get for him from here on out. And then there were teams, that was going for him as a rental. I don't think Miami was going to use him as a rental. They were kind of looking for some longevity. So, keeping Tyler Hero in this situation doesn't seem like a bad deal. It's obviously a kid you got to develop. I'm
on Richard Jefferson's side because one of his points was the Raptors want to trade Kyle Lowry so they can get something back for him.
Right, and they asked for Tyler Hero.
They asked for Tyler Hero because they think that Kyle Lowry is it's a good match for a trade.
Yeah.
The Heat said absolutely not. Why? Because they think Tyler Hero going forward will be worth more than Kyle Lowry. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think that's wrong, especially because of his youth. Like, you're looking at 35-year-old Kyle Lowry versus a 23-year-old Tyler Hero.
I don't even think he's that old. I think he's like 20.
Still?
Yeah, I don't think it's his third year in the league, and he came in at like 18.
He's 21. He's 21. Exactly. Yeah, he was born in 2000. Wow, he only has to subtract the year from his birth year. That's crazy. Yeah, bro. Like, I think Miami's not making a bad move with that. They rejected a measly offer, really. give up your 35-year-old
No, it wasn't straight up.
vet?
It wasn't straight up. It wasn't straight
There was
up.
going to be an involvement in there.
They wanted Tyler Hero and a draft pick, but they were like, "We'll give you Duncan Robinson and a draft pick." That makes more sense.
That makes sense.
And they were like, "No, we want Tyler Hero and a draft pick."
Tyler Hero and a draft pick.
Absolutely not.
Did you hear the Lakers? What they wanted from the Lakers? THT, Schroeder, and 2 first-rounders?
Yeah, nah.
That's nuts.
THT could be their starting point guard for the next 10 years.
He could.
That's the promise that he showed.
Yeah.
Schroeder's a free agent after this year. So unless he signs an extension, he was on a 1-year deal with the Lakers. So unless he signs a extension with the Raptors, he would never have
with the Lakers.
That would have been a pointless trade. No, I'm saying unless he signed an extension with the Raptors, that would have been a pointless trade.
Oh, yeah. At the end of the day,
just him and a couple. No, that would be stupid.
Nah, and even that 35-year-old Lowry for the rental for this year, you're not going to sign him for more than like another year, 2 years after that.
Unless he balls out.
You got to think of the value.
Like if he brings them to the playoffs, like easily to the playoffs, then I don't care what anybody says. He deserves.
He's not even balling this year, Lowry. He's doing all right. Like he was hurt most of the year too, so I can't even like.
He had no help. Who's his help?
Credit. Pascal's
washed this year. Washed.
Pascal Siakam, who hasn't shown up since he
the finals
was actually he was all right in the bubble last year. Since he had a lot of help from Norman Powell and Kyle Lowry in the finals last year, but even still, like there was not too much room for improvement going on in Toronto. That's why they were on the block, and you got so many of these other teams like Orlando just clearing house. All things must go.
Like that makes sense because that organization is horrible. They make literally the worst decisions ever.
I mean, it's an Orlando team. It's the one team in that market in the city of Orlando. It's sad out there. It's just
low-key though. Low-key, Florida does not support anything except for football.
And even that, their teams still aren't that great. Well, then there's Tampa.
Yeah, like Tampa gets good crowds. Even the Dolphins, like they have support from around the country. Like they still have their good crowds. It's not like sellouts, but they have good crowds. Like you look at the Rays and the Marlins, they average like 26 fans a game. So they get nothing down there. And then you have the Heat where pre-LeBron, they had Wade that was keeping the fans' interest. Post LeBron, they still had Wade that was keeping the fans' interest. Other than that, they're not really doing much. And then you have who else is down there? Orlando, nothing.
Yeah, to our point, literally.
Yeah,
to our point.
Nothing is down
there. Since
Shaq
was in Orlando, nothing has been more important since Disney.
Well, they had to wait. They had to wait for a stretch, and then when they made it to the finals that year, with Hito Turkoglu, that was my guy, Jameer Nelson.
Yeah.
I used to root for that team in that playoffs. I was like,
even with the Superman Dwight, Disney World probably had more popular ratings than an NBA Finals bound Orlando Magic.
And that was against the Lakers. That was against
Bron too.
That was the crazy.
They knocked Bron in the first round.
Because Hito hit that little mini buzzer beater. Like it wasn't like a buzzer beater, but it was. LeBron it was
like 2 seconds left. Bron looks at his teammates like, "This is why I'm going to Miami. Like, hey, I gotta fly to South Beach real soon." Shane, let's get started. Let's take a look at some of these teams that made some major splashes in the last couple weeks, especially as time expired today on the deadline. We saw a lot of teams like the Denver Nuggets make some one just huge move. Aaron Gordon in a trade that
I love it.
Didn't really give up much. That they gave up a couple draft picks, some cash, and I think
Gary Harris.
Yeah,
point guard, Gary Harris, basically.
That starting five: Murray, Barton, Gordon, Porter Jr., and the Joker. How many points do you think they average a game? How many rebounds? How many? I mean, just like all around from 1 to 5, you've got a lot of players who are just built for a postseason push that rivals teams like the Lakers, that rivals teams like the Clippers. They're what are they right now? 5, 6 seed?
I think.
Oh no, they're 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah. Where do you see them ending up, Shane?
I like the trade. Well, the totality. So they had made another trade for JaVale McGee.
Yeah.
I like that because
that's
you have Aaron Gordon, who basically takes the place of Jeremy Grant from last year,
right.
but he's better.
Yes.
Jeremy Grant's a bucket. Don't get me wrong. He's a bucket and he could play defense. But Aaron
played
Gordon
really
is
well in
better.
the bubble too last year. Yeah.
Exactly. But Aaron Gordon is better.
Yes.
And then they lost Mason Plumlee. Mm-hmm. They picked up JaVale McGee. It's even. They both do the exact same thing. They're going to get you boards. They're going to protect the rim. That's what they do. Because Jokic does not protect the rim. He gets boards, cannot get blocks. He just doesn't have the bounce. He
outside of Murray, outside of Murray, he handles the ball. On the inside. From the inside of the three-point line, he handles the ball. And you're going to need a guy who's going to sweep up the boards. Porter doesn't do that good of a job of that because he's mostly on the outside shooting.
Porter needs to play the three.
Gordon, well, I think they'll swap them between Gordon and Porter Jr.
I think Porter needs to play the three and put Aaron Gordon at the four.
Yeah. And Gordon's he's 6'9", 6'10"?
6'9", yeah, 6'8", 6'9", around there.
Yeah. He's like the Aaron Judge lookalike in the NBA. It's pretty much
literally.
He's literally.
Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. is, I think, taller than Aaron Gordon. I think he's 6'10". But the difference is, but the difference is Aaron Gordon plays big. Like Michael Porter Jr. plays like a wing. Like he plays like LeBron, Paul George-ish, even though he's bigger.
He's 6'10", but he's like 220. So he's slim.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Porter Jr. Yeah. Aaron Gordon's 6'8", 235. He's meant to play a bigger spot. Exactly. He's going to get you boards. He's going to get you points inside. Him and Jokic on the inside is going to be deadly.
Yeah. And on top of that, what's his name? Murray. Oh, yeah. Maybe Jamal he's Murray. Only good in the playoffs. We don't know because he hasn't really done much this season.
Not yet.
He's going to give them more scoring as well. So he can kind of take the weight off of Murray. Because Murray, it's like people expected him to be MVP level after what he did in the bubble, and he just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, he was averaging almost like 35, 40 in the bubble. Mm-hmm. Now he's averaging, what is he, 20, about 21, 4, and 5, let's say.
Like that's not Jamal Murray.
Average point guard. Yeah, like, come on. On a team that's fifth rising in the West.
Should be second.
Should be, I think they'll finish a lot higher too. He should be averaging closer to 25, 30. I think he'll get those numbers up too, considering, you got those two guys on the inside, Porter on the wing. He's going to have all that space in the middle to take mid ranges and to just, assist inside, outside. All his numbers should see an increase. He's got a lot of scores around him, not to mention on the defensive end, just shot blockers all around. Because between Jokic and
Jokic
Gordon,
can't block. He's not that guy.
He's gonna get steals. He gets more steals than blocks. He gets more steals than blocks. Level. But if you get a point guard or somebody who's driving down the lane, he's gotten a couple point guards really bad on blocks. Bro.
I can't even he's a center. He's 7 foot tall, so he's gonna get blocks. But it's not like JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee is going to clean the house, rim protector. You might as well put a lid on the rim. That's him.
Especially how he came out for the Lakers last year too. He was literally like when they needed AD off the floor and they just needed a guy to close them out late third quarter, early fourth, extend the lead. He was there. No rebound, no offensive rebounds for the other teams, bro. It was pretty serious. Pretty damn serious. Next team I think we got on our list that made some major ish moves, Chicago Bulls. They're not the highest seed in the East right now. Where are they at right now? I think they're 10 seed. So technically in the play-in, right behind Indiana. I see them technically making the play-in. They've got a couple decent guys going for them right now. Levine's playing pretty out of mind right now. Laurie McConnell's he's been a good second option to there. I know
they were trying to trade him.
At him. Yeah, no, and the Knicks were looking at what's his name?
That would have been dumb.
I think it was because maybe they didn't feel that. Well, first it was early on when Quickly hadn't made his statements yet.
Wait, you're talking about Zach LaVine?
Zach LaVine, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Laurie Markkinen. I was about to say, okay.
No. We're talking about LaVine. It was early on when Quickly hadn't had a couple good stretches.
That would have made that. You guys would have been.
He would have been the second option to Julius Randle that we would have had.
Maybe even first.
Damn, because Randall's playing out of his mind right now. I know Levine's playing out
of his mind because he's the first option.
Yeah. And on the Knicks, they'd split that option there. It's either him or the other guy. And then that leaves RJ to pretty much just work on his shooting from the outside, just develop his game. I wish. But instead, they build their own Chicago team, looking to make a late postseason push, probably for a higher play-in seed. I don't see them going too high up in the East unless maybe Charlotte tanks a bit, or the Knicks or the Hawks or the Celtics.
Who's in the 7th seed right now is the Hawks.
Atlanta.
They're going to stay there. 8th seed, Celtics. No, actually, Celtics are going to go up. Celtics will probably be 6 or 7. So you guys better hope. You guys better pray. Hope and pray. No, actually,
I'm not worried about the Celtics.
Okay. Hornets are going to drop because LaMelo's out.
Yeah.
So Heat will
are
going to
rise. Yeah.
Celtics and you and the Knicks will fight for 5.
Not 6. Oh, well, 5. Yeah, because you said 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually more worried about I'd say more worried about the Heat. Well, because the Heat are moving up. Celtics, yeah, I guess out of all those teams, maybe I'll worry about them. I'm not too worried about the Celtics because, again, they have no bigs, and our bigs are a lot more talent. Who's going to guard Randall on that team right now? Nobody
on the Celtics.
Yeah, it would have to be
Jason Tatum,
or who's their forward right now? Power forward.
Jason Tatum.
Again, he's small forward.
No, he plays the 4. Yeah.
Wow, dude. Again, like
that's why the team is so small.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not worried about the Celtics just because of that. Because Randall's all over the court right now. He's not just inside. He's outside. He's all over.
But that's
he has to guard him like a point.
You have Jason Tatum, who's elite, and Julius Randle's gonna have to guard him on the other end. Who's gonna get tired first? I put more stock in Jason Tatum than I put in Julius Randle.
Yeah, but it would have to be solely Jason Tatum, like putting in work on that end. Because literally nobody else on that team is they're gonna get out rebounded. The defense is still clamps. Like there's not too many other options, especially because we played them a couple times. We lost the first time. The second time we blew them up by 30, and it was almost essentially the same team. I don't think Tatum was healthy. Was the only problem. I think he was coming off that injury that he had early on in the season. That could be a killer for the Celtics.
Is nice at ball, bro.
I know he is. I'm not doubting that. Julius Randle. Julius Randle's a good player.
Better than Julius Randle.
Jason Tatum's an amazing player. I'm not giving him like zero credit, but I'm just saying he's gonna have to put in all of the work on the offensive hand.
Because Julius Randle's gonna have to do the same thing on the other end. That's why I said I'm not really worried because who's gonna
Randle
get tired
would still
first?
have to get the 4, and honestly, we could put a 3 on him too.
Then you want him to guard Jaylen Brown? Good luck.
Reggie Bullock.
I'm telling you, you want Julius Randle. I said you want Julius Randle to guard Jaylen Brown because he's playing the 3.
No. Then we'll have Julius Randle play like the big, bro. Again, like there's so much versatility on the floor for us. Like against the Celtics, if you guys
play like that, I don't know, bro.
Bro, all our point guards are locks right now. All of them. Yes. All of our guards. I'm not worried. Everyone's small forward and below, like shorter in the backcourt, they're locked. So it's gonna have to be Tatum by himself. Again, I'm not worried about the Celtics this early, this late. Again, they're sitting at 21 and 23 right now.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, but Jason Tatum is a bad man with the basketball.
I know he is. He absolutely is. But he would have to be the only option for Boston if they wanted to beat the Knicks, especially out for a playoff spot.
Your defense is nice. You have the best defense in the league, and it's probably not even close at this point.
In terms of points per game,
yeah, but that's enough. Jaylen Brown is playing out of his mind this year. They just picked up Evan Fournier. We might as well just loop that trade in with this one for 2 second-round picks. So they didn't lose anybody. They had a top 10 shooting guard on that team. So you guys match up well. Clearly, you guys match up well against them. But unless like you said, you play Julius Randle as a small lineup 5.
Yeah.
They're gonna outscore you guys. They're gonna outscore you because Kemba. I don't care how good your defense is. Kemba, that step back is lethal. Then you have Evan Fournier who can pull from the hash.
I'm worried about a Kemba step back. Again, all of our point guards are locks. Come on, bro. Really?
Kemba has made better defenders look stupid. He's injured.
He's not having his best year in Boston.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll give you that. Evan Fournier can pull from the hash. Jaylen Brown's playing out of his mind. Jason Tatum is a bad man. The only position where you can dominate is the center.
It's the bigs. They would have to wait on Tristan Thompson to get healthy. They got Robert Williams the third as their second guy. They just got Mo Wagner, Luke Cornett.
I'm worried about him
because Taco Fall.
If they five out with Mo Wagner or whatever, however you say his name, it's not. If they five out with him, good luck. I'm telling you right now, because they're just gonna run into the middle of the paint. Mitchell Robinson's gonna close in. And then Mo Wagner's gonna be wide open at the 3-point line, and they're just gonna keep pumping it to him, and he might drop 30 on you guys, and they're gonna have to change that. Take Mitch Robinson out the game.
Shane, I'm telling you, I don't know. We are locks on defense, man, and especially from the 3-point line. Like I know, like there's a big draw, and especially to players like Tatum, especially because they come in hard to the paint, and even in the mid range, if they had to like shoot mid range shots, Jason Tatum's that guy. He'll shoot all around for you. But kickouts, 3-pointers, up in the paint, bro, we're dominating like at least 3 of the 4 major factors of scoring in the game. It just has to be stopping Jason Tatum.
I want to give you the benefit of the doubt because I want to see the Knicks in the playoffs.
You think I don't want to see Knicks in the playoffs?
I don't know, bro. Yo, Jason Tatum is a bad man, bro.
I know. I'm not worried about him. We actually only played him one time this year, and that was the major blowout by 30. We got him again April 7th, and the last game of the season, May 16th. That's a makeup, it looks like. But, all right, so we got 2 more games to really decide what that actually looks like. And again, like you said, Boston Celtics just got Evan Fournier, 2 second-rounders. Maybe looks to bolster their team. I really think the Celtics are missing a big man. They got Mo Wagner, but I don't know how good of an option that is. Like,
they have a big man.
Lock big.
Tristan Thompson is supposed to still be good. I don't understand why he's washed.
That's the only issue right now.
He's always hurt. That's the issue. Because he would still start. If he was healthy, he would start on most teams in the NBA.
Out of 4, I think so. He's not a natural 5 either. They wanted to run a small
It's 2021 in the NBA. There's no natural 5s. It's like Jokic and Embiid are like the only
Jokic, Embiid, and Davis. Davis is even a natural 4. I think he's a power forward.
He's a 4. Yeah.
Another team, Milwaukee Bucks. They get PJ Tucker early on. That was about last week, I think. After Tucker decided he wasn't gonna play anymore for Houston, they actually dealt him one of the many Houston players that just didn't want to be there anymore. They got him for DJ Augustine, DJ Wilson. The Bucks already pretty high up in the East. They're at 2 right now behind the Sixers. Mm-hmm. Clearly looking for some big help. Inside. PJ Tucker can shoot pretty well though too. I mean,
he's a spot up from the corner. Like, that's what he does. He's not going to shoot from the top of the key. Yeah.
If it's going to be him, Giannis, Middleton, and who'd they pick up at point this past season?
Is it Eric Bledsoe?
Eric Bledsoe, yeah. If it's between those 5, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Let me look that
up. I don't remember. I
don't
really care about the Bucks because they're going to be there, so I'm not really worried about them.
They're going to be there. It's about how deep they're going to go. That's always the question with the Bucks.
When the playoffs start,
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday is who it is. Yeah. That's why I was like, it's not Eric Bledsoe, but Drew Holiday is a problem. That's one of the best defenders at the point.
That was a big pickup for them this offseason. That was a big pickup for them.
He locks.
He was in where was he before that? I know he was in the Pelicans. Oh, he was in New Orleans before all that?
He got traded for Eric Bledsoe. That's why I was like, I don't remember. Yeah.
No, that was a good pickup for them, like you said. Yeah,
that was a great
lock
pickup.
On defense. He's a great scorer too. He's been a really good scorer since he was in New Orleans. Always like
when he was on the Sixers, he was
okay.
But then when he got traded to the Pelicans, he's elite on both ends of the floor.
No, that was good. Whenever it's about how deep they go.
Whenever you talk to guards in the NBA, they all say it. They're like, Drew Holiday is one of the worst people to have face you up when you have the ball in your hand, because you know how like we talk about Patrick Beverley, how he's just there to be annoying. Like, no, Drew Holiday is not gonna say a word. He's there and he's clamping you, and he's not gonna say anything to you. He'll get the steal and just run up the court like nothing's happening, lay it up, come back down the court and lock you up again. I don't know, man. Woo! If he was on the Nets, I'll play Harden at the 3. Go to the 3. Joe Harris come off the bench.
Nah, he could probably do it. Harden could probably play a decent 3. He just have to play on the outside. Force everyone.
He would still
outside.
be the primary ball handler anyway, regardless.
Even with Drew Holiday on the court.
Even with Drew Holiday, he'll be, because that's what he's there to do. James Harden's not there to score. He's there to pass.
He could, yeah. I mean, that's all he's been this year. That's why I like him for his MVP spot right now.
17
top
assists.
2. Yeah, man, he's facilitating.
Against the Blazers, 17.
He's making Chris Paul eat his point guard words. He said, "I'm the facilitator. You think you're the greatest?" He is one of the greatest facilitators of all time. Still. Chris Paul, he's a monster. But yeah, like another big team. We only got a couple more. Miami Heat sitting at 22-22, high up in the East though. That's a 5 seed gets you. They first early on let go of Myers Leonard. They were going to release him, but they got a trade to OKC for Trevor Ariza. He's just going to come off the bench, I'm pretty sure. But letting go of Leonard kind of gets rid of all that mess. That
gets the distraction out when he said that anti-Semitic comment while he was playing.
What was he playing? Warzone, something like that.
Something. And he said that when he realized, he was like,
"Come on, man."
He's on the phone. He's like, he came back. Yeah, the wife needs me for something. I'll be back. Oof. Like, yeah, sure, your wife.
I thought that era of racist Xbox playing Call of Duty kid was way past us.
Yeah.
Is this who just grew up?
No. It's still there.
It's still there.
The difference is Myers Leonard is not a kid. Myers Leonard is like 26 years old.
I know.
27.
That's what he grew into.
The difference.
he was in that environment from 2011 and just was like, "Oh, it's Call of Duty. Let's keep it going."
13 year olds still on Call of Duty. I can tell you that for sure. They're still there. But Myers Leonard's a grown man. He should not be saying them things.
People, kids,
pay
if
attention.
You're gonna get one thing to learn from this podcast: watch what you say online.
Watch what you say. It's that simple.
It's not hard. Just be a good person. It doesn't take that much effort. Crunch time. The Heat actually snagged Victor Oladipo from the Houston Rockets. Another Rocket
what did they get back?
Layaway. That's a good question because honestly, it was so fast. Like that trade happened at the deadline, like literally 2 seconds left. They will send Avery Bradley and Kelly Olynyk and 22 first rounds swapped. That's a steal.
Can I tell you the Rockets are geniuses.
What?
Think about it like this.
What?
They got 4 first rounds from the Nets.
Well, hold on.
Paris
they
LeVert.
Have like 13 or 14 first round picks for the next couple of years. You're right.
But that's what I'm saying. They got 4 first round picks and Karis LeVert. They trade Karis LeVert for Oladipo. They trade Oladipo for 2 more first round picks. So they're up to 6. And then they still have like the 2 or 3 second round picks from the Nets.
They also traded Jared Allen.
No, Jared Allen, I think, went straight to the Cavs.
They didn't even.
It was a 3-team trade.
It was a swap, or he went straight to the Cavs from.
Yeah, it was a 3-team trade, so it was just
Oh, man, I think of the idea that they really could have had. We'll say maybe like 3 first round picks, Karis LeVert, and Jared Allen, and instead.
No, it would have never. It would have never gone down that way for just James Harden. Absolutely not. I would have started a riot. I don't care how good James Harden is playing. I don't care how good James Harden is playing. You are not giving up 3 first rounders or 4 plus James plus Karis LeVert and Jared Allen for just James Harden. I want no parts of that. I would have never made that trade.
About a month ago, I remember how adamant you were about this trade. Like, it has to be perfect. We have to get the perfect amount of value for James Harden if we're going to give away basically our bench. And when it came down to Karis LeVert getting traded, it hurt. I know it did.
He hit that step back last night against who were they playing? He hit that step back against somebody. I don't remember who it was to put the dagger. And I was sitting there. I smiled. I was like, man, I miss him, yo.
Mama, there goes.
I miss him. He used to
That was
go
against the Pistons.
crazy. For
Yeah,
no
he hit the
reason, he
dagger
used to go
3.
crazy.
28 points. Good for him too. But again, what I'm gonna just take from this is that the Heat have now Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, a first round swap added with what, like 8 other first round picks that they might have had for the last couple,
Like
next like
yeah,
2-3 years.
4 or 5. Yeah.
Bro. It could have been a lot.
If half of those
better.
picks pan out, they're gonna be elite forever.
Yeah.
Like
that's also like what you kind of hope to gain from all of that. That's what the Lakers were bargaining on. That's what the Knicks. No, not even. The Knicks weren't bargaining on that.
that's what happened with the Celtics with the last.
That's what happened with the Celtics. With the
they got Jaylen Brown, they got Jason Tatum, they got all of them from the Nets.
That's right. The Nuggets got some fallout from 2012, post Melo. Who'd they give up? All I remember is they were their Nuggets, Denver Nuggets. They were like the bottom of the standings. Yeah. They got like 3-4 first round picks, made some major moves in the trade deadline, ended up building up their team to what I think it was like decent, like 2015, 16. Man, I got to look up that roster again because they weren't that bad at that time. Regardless, yeah, some teams make the most out of those kinds of picks. Some teams suffer or, they make other moves to make themselves better. Lakers did that with all those first round picks. Mm-hmm. We'll see how that pans out for the Rockets. It might end up actually benefiting them in the long run. But as of right now, a lot of those players that wanted to leave, you kind of have to think about, what's going on in that organization. They had a new owner come in, exactly. Just had their last coach booted pretty much from the organization. The Harden loss was huge, just overall in Houston. Like, what's going on? What's going on in Houston sports?
What is it, like 21 straight losses?
Right, yeah, they had 20 straight losses before, I think 2 nights ago. And Oladipo and Wall actually won the game for him, funny enough.
That team, I feel like the issue is they got the all-injured NBA team and pretty put much them all on one team and said, hey, let's win a chip. And it's like, yeah, 4 years ago with that team, you would have won a chip. You're not winning a chip with that team this year.
Nah.
Everybody was hurt.
Yeah. And it was like major injuries that kept them out for like over a year.
Exactly.
Like, a lot of those players weren't the same.
If this was 2016, let me not go back that far. If it was 2018 and you had John Wall, let me not say Victor Oladipo. Yeah, John Wall, James Harden, DeMarcus Cousins, PJ Tucker, like all of them on one team, you're making the playoffs. You're probably going to be the 1 or the 2 seed.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they got decent players for that enough. It would have made sense.
John Wall, torn Achilles, Victor Oladipo now when they traded him for him, torn quad. You have DeMarcus Cousins who breaks his eyelid walking down the stairs. It's like everything goes wrong with that team. And it's like you try to put them all on one team and expect it to work? Nah. Nets, go pick up Boogie. Let's see what happens.
That's the major move you want for him?
Actually, no. We have too many bigs now. Let him go sit somewhere else.
I don't even want the leftovers of the big men that they really got, especially because a lot of them are not really going to find a good spot. Most of them are just going to end up as rebounders or
not even rebounders. They're just not going to play for the Knicks.
Nah, Aldridge would probably play maybe a 5 off the bench.
Aldridge would start for you guys.
Nah. He would have to start over Randall, or Randall would have to play the 3, and that wouldn't work offensively.
No. I mean, he would start over Mitch Robinson.
Even still, that'd be a tough. He'd start, but play like 15 minutes.
10 minutes.
The entire game, yeah. Max. Couple more teams that actually made some big moves. Just list them off. Clippers actually traded Rondo for Lou Will. Congrats to
so sad.
The Atlanta Metro City lemon pepper wings, because Lou Will has now found a new form of consumption. He just gets to go to Magic City and eat lemon pepper wings all day. He doesn't even have to play for the Hawks.
Like, the man almost ruined the bubble last year. You gonna trade him? You gonna trade him to Atlanta?
I think.
Oh man, it was so funny.
They said, "You want to be in Atlanta, right? Here, we got you right now. Get a ticket." It's crazy because I think on Instagram someone posted like a snippet of him comments saying something like, "Oh, if I get traded from the Clippers, I'm retiring." it'll be Lou Willville from here on out. And I'm like, that's how you want to go out. Just if it's not the Clippers, it's just go home.
Yeah,
I mean, you're already in Atlanta. You might as well just make the stop.
Exactly.
Go to Atlantic City. It's not that far from the airport. Portland Trailblazers are the last team. Norman Powell for Trent Jr. and Hood. Two mid-range, swapped shooters pretty much for Norman Powell, who's had a pretty consistent season this year for the Raptors.
Rodney Hood too. Don't forget about Rodney Hood. That's my guy. Rodney Hood is my guy. No, he's super inconsistent, but if he gets hot, he could literally carry you to the finals. Like
playoff Rodney.
He can have if he has a stretch of 5 games like he did that finals, he can carry you to the finals, which makes no sense. Which gets me so sick because he's not that good, but he goes crazy. So yeah, but I don't think we said who the Bulls traded. I think we talked about Zach LaVine, but we never talked. Nikola Vucevic and Al-Farouq Aminu got traded from the Magic to the Bulls, which makes the Bulls a lot better. So let's see what happens with them, because now the Bulls have Zach LaVine, Vucevic, who's elite at the 5. Elite. He's gonna drop 20
this year. He was an All-Star.
Yeah, but he's been an All-Star. I think it's like his 3rd or 4th All-Star team.
Get out, really? Damn.
Yeah, like,
I'm not even looking at that like
that. I could be jacking it. I'm not even gonna hold you. I could be.
No, I'm gonna look it up just because that's how
it's probably 2. It's probably his 2nd one, but it feels like he's an All-Star every year because he always scores 22 a game. He always gets his 12 rebounds a game. He's gonna hit his threes now. He's facilitating. He's an all-around center. He's like a budget Jokic without handles. Like if he had handles, he'll be Jokic.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
This year he's having 24 a game, 11 rebounds, almost 12 rebounds, and almost 4 assists. He'd be a good player in Chicago.
If he had handles, he would literally be Jokic.
Yeah. Yo, he started in Philly. He got drafted by Philly. That's crazy.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
In 2011. Yeah, he's had some really good. No, Shane, he's made the All-Star game. What was that?
Is it 3? 3 or 4 times?
Ooh.
Which is crazy to think about because you don't that's what I'm saying. Orlando gets no credit because you have Fournier, who's a top 10 shooting guard, in my opinion. I could be dragging it. But you have Fournier, who's nice.
2 times, 19 and 21. Yeah.
Okay. You have Fournier, who's nice. You have Vucevic, who's nice, like actually nice, like getting All-Star votes. And no one talks about them.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
That was a pretty much like major moves from this past couple of weeks. Yeah, again, it whittles down to about maybe 5-6 teams, but 7 we've got listed here. But actually, like most of these teams are making playoff pushes, if not playoff pushes, play-in pushes to make the playoffs. Yeah. I think all these teams have a really good chance too, because they really benefited from a lot of these players. They got some big names that they actually needed in their big spots. Didn't give up too much either. I mean, the biggest I think one given up was probably Gordon to Orlando. He picked up a couple first-round picks for that.
No, I think the biggest move was Oladipo. Because now you have elite defenders at every position.
Oh, well, hold on. You mean for Miami? Like the biggest, like
I thought you were talking about the biggest move overall.
I'm just talking about like draft stock, like or like
draft. Yeah,
value wise.
Yeah, value. Yeah.
But but you're absolutely right. On the other end is like player value, like to their team.
Yeah.
It would be Oladipo. Oladipo was a crazy snag at the last minute of the deadline for the Heat. Again,
think about the finals last year.
Run. Yeah, man.
Why did the Heat lose to the Lakers?
They got
because
tired.
you had one defender. Well, 2 if you count Bam. But like
Bam
wings, you had Jimmy Butler. That's it. Tyler Hero's not guarding anybody. Duncan Robinson's definitely not guarding anybody.
I'm surprised at the run that he made last year too. That was shocking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really just Jimmy. So now you have Oladipo, so they can guard either both guards or they can guard the 2 and 3 and lock the 2 and the 3. And you have Tyler Hero who can get bopped all you want with the point guard, do whatever you want to do. But you have them two guarding the wings. Elite.
Yeah, man. No, it's a good pick. You're absolutely right. Now, there's a couple moves that didn't happen. Big names that were expected to be moved at the end of the deadline. First one being Kyle Lowry from the Toronto Raptors did not get moved. He put up two like weird peace signs at the end of his game last night. Whatever it was. But he was already like in talks at the beginning of the trade like season that being that he was going to be a free agent at the end of the year, he was going to be moved possibly to make some space for future improvement in Toronto, and also for him to get another ring. Maybe he was drawing interest from the Heat, like we said, the Clippers, the Lakers. I mean, I'm shocked that he didn't get moved. I honestly saw him 76ers. You're absolutely right. I'm shocked that he actually didn't get moved. I'm
not shocked because they were asking for ridiculous. We were talking about this earlier. They were asking for some stupid deals.
No, I know.
Like Tyler Hero. Come on now. You saw the run he went on in the playoffs last year. You think they're going to trade him for you? Just for 1 year for you to go sign somewhere else? Come on now.
The value in that we already get, like we said, it's not.
Get out of here.
The other name is Lonzo Ball in the Pelicans. He was having a decent year this year. Probably his best, his best one of his career, like obviously. And that's I think what the Pelicans were banking on. Is that look, he's having an up season. Let's see if we can get some actual value for him. I think the Pelicans have too many guards right now too. So, make some space for him. Yeah. Potentially build up.
Well, not anymore because they traded JJ Redick. So
now they traded Redick. So now that was the one guard that they were not supposed to give up. They were supposed to keep him as a shooter. But between him and Ball was having a pretty up season in terms of shooting. So maybe they didn't lose too much.
They lost because Lonzo can't keep this up. Maybe
he's not going to keep it up. That's I mean, it's Lonzo, Bledsoe, B.I., Zion, Steven Adams. It's not a team that's built, obviously, for a run. They obviously need a lot more pieces. You know what? They probably could have used a guard, too. Because Bledsoe had some good years in Houston. In the West?
They are the 11 seed. So right now they're in the play-in. No, they're not. They're right outside the play-in. And they're like games back of the Warriors.
I mean,
so
the Warriors right now are a lot better team than the Pelicans.
So they would end up playing the Spurs and get washed.
The NBA pulls some garbage that they pulled last year and try to slip Zion in the playoffs like they wanted to in the bubble last year.
What year was it? 2008 with or was it 2012 with Kobe when they were like, oh, the Lakers are 7 games back with 8 games left to play. And then Kobe gets hurt. And then they forced the Lakers to make the playoffs. And it was like, what was the point at that point? Like, they won every game. I mean, we're getting calls out the wazoo. Dwight Howard ended up dropping like 30 points a game in those last 8 games of the season. And it's like, bro, they're not that good.
That was the Lakers. That was the one season everyone thought the Lakers got a super team. And it was like him, Nash, Kobe, Nash, Dwight Howard, Pau Gasol. Meta World Peace was still there. That's when he first changed his name to Meta. It was like a mess. I remember I had that too. I had 2K12, and they were the like best ranked team, all stats, all time. Realistically, like on paper, it made sense, but in the NBA, didn't make sense at all.
Steve Nash was at the end of his playing days.
He was on a ring chasing. Kobe was like in his prime, kind of still. He still made some pushes. Dwight had too big of an ego, and he wasn't established as a player, as a center, as he like
anymore.
Was gonna be. They thought he was going to be the second coming of Shaq. They told him that, and his head got like this big, and
that's what he was doing in Orlando. He was dropping 26 and 13, 26 and 15 in Orlando. The only
difference was that Shaq was like 7 foot, 290 pounds, unguardable on every aspect of the floor. Dwight Howard would score and like defend you out the books, but if you told him that, he would be garbage. And that's what happened in 2012. You just had to tell him, Dwight, just keep doing you. Don't talk about
arguably the greatest team ever assembled. 2004 Lakers. All-star team, and they were horrible that year.
That was with Karl Malone.
Gary Payton at the 1, Kobe at the 2. You had who was playing at 3? Was it Lamar Odom? I think you had Odom at the 3.
Time, yeah.
You had Karl Malone at the 4. Then you had Shaq at the 5.
Yeah.
And I think that was the one year I think Karl Malone got hurt, and then the whole season just went downhill. That team, greatest team ever assembled. You had an all-star at all 5 positions. I don't know who the 3 was. It may not have been Lamar Odom. It could have been Rick Fox.
Yeah, I think Rick Fox was there.
No, actually, that team.
It's saying Davion George, small forward.
Oh, well, regardless. You have them 4 on one team together. You can't top that, bro.
It could have been like one of the best teams of all time, but again, Luke Walton was on that team too. That's crazy.
Luke Walton really made $5 million a year to.
Yeah, man.
And then got a head coaching job out of it. He really swindled the whole NBA. That's crazy.
Shane, last couple spots for the NBA. The big men that are still waiting to really land some spots. There's 3 big names: is Boogie, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Andre Drummond. Do you see any of those guys landing any spots?
Andre Drummond 100% will get picked up.
Yeah.
What team? I don't know. There's no team that really needs a center that can only rebound and put back layups. Like
Celtics.
The Celtics, yes, but do they really need a center? They just need Tristan Thompson to get healthy.
No, they need a center.
He's enough. With the way they play, Tristan Thompson is enough.
For the pace, yes, because I think Drummond might be too slow to move up and down the court at their pace.
Oh, no.
With all those small guys, with all those small guys, I don't think he'll catch up to the pace of play. The first of all, the Cavs aren't even playing at like an NBA like super level yet. Obviously, because when he got to that team, it was like the leftover Kevin Love and all the draft picks that they got post Bron.
Why didn't Kevin Love get traded? Is he still hurt?
Is he hurt? Yeah, I think he was hurt.
That would have been a dope trade for him to get traded to, like, let's say like the Lakers or something.
The Lakers. I was actually thinking about that.
And it probably would have been the Lakers because LeBron would have been like, yeah, bring him. Let's go.
He's hurt still with his calf, but probably looking to sit out the year if he, hadn't gotten traded. So probably won't hear his name till next year. I like Aldridge still. I think he's probably going to not fit that mesh of, big men who are still a little too slow. He's kind of lost his shot. He was the major, like, post-game mid-range by the
he can still do it.
The lower,
he's not
post.
As consistent. Like
he
went through a stretch where he was like all-time great at that little back down turnaround jumper.
Oh my God.
He was unstoppable with that.
NBA 2K13. I made a my player that tried to guard him in the West, and I was getting manhandled every single
domination.
It was unreal.
No
Still
stress.
The Spurs sitting at an 8 seed. I'm surprised they actually let him go. They were trying to trade DeRozan too. That was another big name that they were like kind of having him.
That's the thing though. Like his game isn't suitable for the NBA nowadays, which is why he gets knocked down lower and lower every year. If he took threes he could make his threes. If he took threes,
I thought,
but he just doesn't take them.
Nah.
For someone who can make them, why don't you take them?
He was one of those players that was in that like 2016, 2017 Kobe like training summer camp with Russell Westbrook and like a couple other guys that everyone thought, oh, he's gonna be like a breakout in the next couple seasons.
He did.
He was. But then because he stuck with that, 2015, 16 Kobe mentality and never adjusted to the game like Russell Westbrook did, just bringing brute force and speed.
Yep.
He kind of faded out. And that's kind of where he's sitting right now. That's a good point as to why he didn't get traded. I thought he still had some value. I thought maybe he'd get reunited in Toronto for Norman Powell. They'd obviously have to give up something else for him, but
exactly.
I don't see where the Spurs even sit right now at an 8 seed. They're probably not going to last because you got
they'll last, but are they going to win in the?
You got Memphis, who's coming up pretty big. Golden State, if they stay healthy and Curry comes back, coming up pretty big. Really, the last two teams, they'll probably get to the play-in. Is there one thing?
They're going to make the play-in 100%. They're going to have to stay in that 8 seed because if they go up or they drop to 10. Then it's G's because the Mavs are going to wash them. They have to play the Grizzlies to make it into the playoffs. The issue is the Warriors are going to be playing the Mavs. then you have a little. But the Warriors are still the Warriors. Like
Watch
they
out
can
for the
still
Warriors.
they can still make waves.
They were saying, you already said it earlier in our pod, that Clay might make a playoff appearance.
No.
If he gets healthy.
No.
That's gonna be a nasty team.
What? I know I didn't say that because I would never say blasphemy. No, not about Klay Thompson. You mad? He tore his ACL. He's not coming back.
I mean, he was out for the regular season, obviously, but he was supposed to come back like May-ish, like late May.
Bro. You tear your ACL playing basketball, you're out for the year. At best, he comes back for the start of the new year. That ACL is not a joke when you have to cut. If he was playing baseball, then yeah, he can come back. But this is basketball where he has to cut side to side, playing defense. It's not like he's just can stand and cherry pick. He has to play defense. I don't think he can do
it. Yeah, all right. ESPN last week already said, no, he's looking forward to next season.
Yeah,
all hopes are gone for this year for Clay. Sorry,
if he played
Clay.
baseball, sign him up. He'd be back. He could be back right now. But for him to play basketball or football or something, no shot.
And come next year, watch out for the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, they might not be the one seed.
15, 16. It's the same team.
With Klay Thompson mad that he just missed 2 years in a row.
Yes, sir.
Woo.
Shane, let's get into some discourse that we got into early on this week. Tony Allen had got on Twitter talking about some of the best defensive players in the league right now. Did not include Draymond Green in his words. Draymond Green quickly shot back on the Bird app that he is not only a better defender than him, but that him and his team wiped him out of the playoffs.
And they did.
2015 and 16. They absolutely did. The Grizzlies were torched. I don't remember a single player on that team other than Conley and Zebo. Gasol.
Zebo, Zach Randolph. My God, I forgot about him.
All I remember
is 2 inches off the ground.
All I remember is that team was getting washed by double digits, like 20 points, double digits every single time.
Every game.
And they got swapped. Not swept, swapped.
Swapped.
Again, Draymond Green, one of the better players in the NBA. He pretty much held Golden State together for the last 6 years, outside of Curry and his big image and Clay with the Splash Brothers duo. He is kind of like the hidden talent amongst the Warriors starters. Has made the All-Star team. What is that?
A couple times. I think
7 out of the last 9 years, I think. Since 2014.
Like something he made during that run of 5 years, I think he was an all-star 4 or 5 of those years.
He was an all-pro 7 of the last 9 years. He was an all-star 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18. So 3 straight years of Warriors teams that one was a 72-10 team and 2 had KD each time. So to be an all-star on that team, 72-9, 81 game season. I again was just astounded, kind of that, one, Draymond is at this level still that he's pretty much producing for that team.
Yeah. Defense-wise, he's not producing much else.
Defense-wise, that's my point, is he's still amongst the best players defensively in the NBA.
Yep. Easy.
Shane gives a hard yes.
Oh, 100%.
I would only say no. Even this season, his numbers have dropped, especially offensively and defensively on the boards.
People got to remember, he's only 6'6". Let's not act like he plays the 4 and the 5, but let's not act like Draymond is 6'10". He's 6'6". No. So if he gets out rebounded,
he's dynamic. He's an amazing player. He makes those defensive player of the year bouts by those turnovers, those steals, the blocks sometimes even that he can get on those smaller guards. He has in the past had really high rates for rebound is the other thing, even at his size. But a lot of those all-star seasons, especially for those defensive bout seasons, I don't know if I still give him as much credit, only because he had Steph, Clay, and at some point KD, whereas he only really had to clean up the boards. He'd get open for his 1-3 game where he shoots it like he's got a backpack on. But again, I still feel like, with that much strength around you, you can focus on your defense. Obviously, that makes you a great defensive player because you focused on it. But I think he gets a lot of credit because there was a lot of seasons, the seasons where they lost Draymond, where they lost KD, where Curry was hurt this last year and a couple years prior to that, where Clay was hurt and they lost Curry in the playoffs and Clay. He had to hold it down on all ends of the court, and he wasn't the same player. Usually I'd expect his defensive numbers to kind of stay the same. He didn't have to stay a facilitator. He kind of chose that role. I don't know where he fits still in that same defensive ranking for me. I think he just bolsters those.
I'm perfectly fine with him focusing on defense because the people that he, like, especially Tony Allen, he was in a beefing with Tony Allen. What did Tony Allen do? Tony Allen sat there on a Grizzlies team that had Conley, Debo, Marc Gasol. Like, all he did was defend. So it's like, if you're talking about between them two, who I would rather have, I would rather have
I'd watch Draymond.
It depends on what you're asking.
Okay.
I said this to you earlier. Both of them can guard 1 through 5. Draymond will do it better because Draymond is bigger and he's heavier. I don't think he's taller. I think they're both 6'6". Maybe
but
Tony Allen's 6'4".
Allen's mostly playing like the shooting guard, small
shooting guards, small forward.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're asking me who do you want to guard 1 through 3, I'm going with Tony Allen without a doubt. Give me Tony Allen. But if you say, who do you want to guard 1 through 5? Anybody who switches, it doesn't matter. Give me Draymond. I don't care. Give me Draymond. There's a very small group of people who I would trust in the history of the NBA to guard 1 through 5 with no issues. Draymond, Rodman, Pippen, Bron in the playoffs. Regular season, Bron could barely guard his own position. AD in spurts. You can't ask AD to just sit on the point guard all day. It will never work. He would get destroyed. But ask him, if you switch on AD, you could bop him. He could literally fall and touch earth, and somehow his arms will stretch, and he'll still get the block. I've seen him do it. It makes no sense. So there's a very and to a certain extent, I'm not even gonna say it because it's not true. I was about to say Jordan, but that's not true. Jordan could guard 1 through 3 easy.
He couldn't guard.
If you put him on a 5, he would get destroyed. So
he couldn't guard a 5.
That's my thing. So I love Draymond. I don't think he's saying he's the best defender in the history of the NBA.
Oh, that's
Rodman would take his head off easy.
I think Pippen would still be a better defender than him in the NBA.
Pippen too, because Pippen locks 1 through 4 easy, and if you put him against a 5, he's like 6'8". So
he'll get a couple steals on a 5. He won't touch. He won't. Yeah. I think Draymond has had to fight for his ego, and he has backed it up in seasons past because he has been. He's an all-star. Yeah. He's won championships, and he's been a big part of those championships. Like, I can't give him zero credit for that. But I think he ranks himself really, really high.
Yep.
Really, really high. That's my one thing with Draymond. His numbers don't really reflect him to be really that as high as he thinks he is.
No, he thinks he's high defensively. He even said it. I'm not here to score.
Too. No, numbers outside of offensive production, defensive production too. His numbers have declined in the last couple seasons.
But he's talking about all time. He's not talking about this year.
But that's why I'm alluding to all of that. It's like, if you're going to include all time, you can't be in a decline. This isn't the end of your career, Draymond Green.
Yeah, it's not.
You're probably in your prime if you're 30.
Yeah.
30 years old.
As a defender, got like 6 years left.
You got 6, 7 years, 8 years even. Some defenders go to like 38, 39 years old. But he's good defenders.
To guard all 5? No. He has like
not to guard all 5.
3 years left of guarding all 5. And then once he hit 34, it's going to be, can you guard the 4 and the 5? And that's all he's going to do. And he will do that well until he's 38. Because the NBA is just getting smaller.
That's the other thing. He's moving towards like what a 4 or 5 is going to end up being.
Yeah.
So his numbers are probably going to stay like pretty good.
There's Bobo, who's the car salesman noodle.
Slenderman.
There's him.
Yeah.
And then there's who else is there? There's like Jokic, AD, stuff like that, like the bigs.
Taco Fall, if he actually like was faster.
Taco would never play. Taco's
if
not
he
gonna
was
play.
faster,
Sad.
he could be what Bobo essentially is. But
yeah,
Bobo's a scary
but he can't shoot like that
outside
either.
Of his.
It's kind of creepy how long his arms and legs are.
Do you see how he glides?
He wears the shorts. Wears the short shorts. His legs are like this long.
He just glides.
My god, it's so weird.
It's like he doesn't even step. He just kind of like one big lunge and he's already at mid-court. The next big lunge, these are gonna like pass it out because the defense just realized he's in the paint. Yeah, man, he just shook somebody the other day. That's crazy.
Oh my god.
He had a crossover and a step back. I was like, whoa, he can't do that. He can't do that. Making him too powerful. Shane, this was a busy last couple of weeks for the NBA. It's looking to really close out its season. We've got only like 30 games left? I think they played almost 50.
No, how many 40. Games playing? 73?
73 season?
I think they're playing 70, 73 or something. So I think they have 30 games
30 left. Only about 30 games left. Give it about like another month, essentially the month of April, right? Early May. Playoffs start.
Middle of May is like when the playoffs start. So yeah.
Man, we're closing in on the season. I'm looking for a really good NBA season. Again, they've kind of held it down between, the shortened COVID season and the bubble. And then this season, I think I saw a stat. They've only had one player test since the beginning of March positive for COVID. They've been really handling that league well. Oh, yeah. And that was Derrick Rose.
I think it was just him.
Man, had to be the Knicks, right? Had to be the Knicks. But again, just looking at a really good season. NBA is really heating up too. I like how the standings are kind of shaping up. I think a lot of these teams have really found their place. I'm more happy just because the Knicks are like a decent seed in the playoffs. Want them to make a first round run, maybe into the second. We'll get washed in the second, clearly, but if we can get past the first round,
you never know.
It's happy flying from here on out. Nah, I don't know about I never know. I think I've got to stay pretty humble about where the Knicks actually are versus where they're at right now. I think it's better to look at a run in the next couple of years rather than this being the season. It would have to be Embiid never comes back. The Bucks just crash and burn. And Kyrie retires. KD opts out. And
Kyrie not slick talking about, I need 3 days to tend to a family matter on the day of your birthday. You're not slick, Kyrie.
Bro, you never took part-time off on your birthday.
We know what you're doing. You're going home to party. We know what you're doing.
He's in Miami right now, bro. He's on that spring break. You see what's happening in Miami right now? It's crazy stuff, bro. They got a state of emergency for spring breakers. Sick out here, man.
Exactly.
Shane, let's move on to weekly updates. Let's start with the NFL. Still in kind of semi-crisis mode for free agency. And it's kind of like winding down. Now you get more towards like draft time. You got a lot of players working out now. A lot of those videos coming out. I see on like Instagram, Twitter. But teams are making more of that transition. The last couple of the bigger moves I've seen, Joe Flacco goes to Philly 1 year, 3.5. He's probably going to help nurture Jalen Hurts into a decent quarterback. Probably strengthen his arm, work with him.
That's the only thing he's missing.
On his play reads. Yeah, it's mostly been his arm and just like kind of like reading defenses. Other than that, he's a true athlete, good, like youthful,
elite speed.
Yeah, like he's gonna end up being one of the better quarterbacks, I think, in the NFC East, I think too. But in the NFC, he has a lot of potential. Eagles have a decent team. I think they lost a couple defensive players, but it's all going to be built around him eventually. He'll have to get some experience under his belt. Flacco's a good signing just for that transition. And if they need a backup, didn't do too bad on the Jets last year. Shane, New York Football Giants, Big Blue, made some big money moves to the Big Apple.
Big money moves.
Bro. Kenny Galladay. Yeah, go ahead.
Like, Kenny Galladay got a lot more than I thought he was going to get. The last time we talked about him, I was like, give him 13 mil. 14. This man is making what, 18 mil?
A
That's
year, yeah.
big money.
Yeah, man.
And I didn't like. I knew he was good, but in my head he wasn't that good. But if he's that good, sign me up. Give me every piece. I want every piece of that. If he is that good, and he gives us a legit option, and he doesn't get hurt at like Sterling Shepard, then I'm all in. Sign me up. Then we got Kyle
Hey, just
Rudolph.
as a note, Kenny
Huh?
Galladay is the 6th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
Behind
that's actually
Hopkins,
not
Jones, Allen, Cooper, and Michael Thomas. Ahead
bad.
of, actually tied with Tyreek Hill and OBJ. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
So I like, man, I get it, but I like, like I said, hopefully he turns out good. Adore, is it Adore or Adore Jackson? Adore. I could never say his name. I ask everybody I talk to about this, but I actually like the signing because it's him. You have Bradbury as the corners. Then you have Jabril. I don't care about everybody else. You got Jabril. Jabril from Jersey, 2-time state champ.
Yes, sir.
You have that. You have him as a free safety. Like the secondary is gonna be good, and that's all we needed because last year, 2 years ago, when all the corners was like, we can't guard people for 10 seconds. Blah 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 blah. The defensive line can't do nothing.
8 games, yeah, it was pretty much that.
But now we have the big cat, like we talked about last episode. Williams. We have Dexter Lawrence. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Who am I mixing him up with?
No,
Dexter Lawrence, he's there. I was about to say Dexter Fowler. That's in my head. I'm like, that don't feel right. Dexter Lawrence, who's there. So the defensive line is looking good, and hopefully we draft a stud edge rusher.
Yeah.
If we could do that, that's fine with me. I'm all in. And then Kyle Rudolph, who before he signs gets hurt. They talk about his broken foot or something like that. But they still signed him regardless because they said the surgery he'll be ready to go for the first on week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And it was so funny because I don't know if you were recording when I was talking about this earlier, but Craig Carton on the Carton and Roberts show was like, Giants fans, we have breaking news from Giants camp. One of the players you just signed is going to need off-season surgery. And he was like, they were like, who's the player? He's like, and everybody, I could feel the tension in like all of New Jersey. Like,
bro, no way the sound cuts out on the actual name, bro.
No, but it didn't cut out. He was doing it on purpose. He was just like,
he was doing it on purpose.
Yes, he was.
No way, he's evil, bro.
Everybody was like, don't say it, and then he's like, Kyle Rudolph, and everybody's like, oh, like all of the whole tri-state area let out like a collective sigh. Even the Jets fans were like, oh, thank God, because we were like, don't say Kenny, don't say Kenny, don't say Kenny, and it was like Kyle Rudolph. We're like, oh, thank God. So,
Aaron Roberts, that's an evil man right there, bro.
Yeah, he's Craig Carton is the worst. So it was like, so I'm still happy though because once again, even though he's on the tail end of his career, he's sure-handed. He will catch the ball if you throw it to him.
So in the end zone, that's exactly what Danny Dimes needs.
Exactly.
Right there.
Because Evan Ingram is going to drop the ball.
Yeah, bro.
Mr. Drops a lot. Is that what you call him? Sir Drops a lot.
Sir Drops a lot. Mr. Drops a lot would have been Nelson Aguilar from 2 years ago, but he's removed his name and currently knighted is Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram.
I don't know if you saw the stats on Galladay. He's top 5 in receiving first downs on 3rd and 10 or more since 2018. He's got 13 of those behind Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, all receivers who were like 6'4" and up, ahead of Tyreek Hill, Marvin Jones, who was his former co-player in Detroit. But on those plays where Danny Dimes loses a lot of yardage on second down, trying to scramble outside or, some other nonsense run, he's got a guy who can make up that play, who can make up those yards. And on third down, especially, it's big, especially against teams like Dallas with decent defenses, Washington, who's got a decent defense. You're going to need guys like that. So Danny Dimes makes some use
Mm-hmm.
Last couple big signings from the NFL from this past free agency signings. Chris Carson returns to Seattle for a 2-year, $14.6 million.
Good deal.
Really? And honestly, Russell Wilson was a big part of that. Yeah. Russell Wilson was a big part of that signing too. I think he actually helped kind of push and maneuver Seattle to really make that signing. He's a good running back. He got a little hurt last year.
That's his only thing. That hurt the team.
Yeah, because they had to go.
Wilson had to throw 50 times.
Wilson was throwing so many times a game. If you're throwing and you're not completing passes or you're not scoring, your defense has to be the other side of that, and they had no defense.
And their defense was horrible, yeah.
And the last big one, another running back that I wanted to make note of was Kenyon Drake. Was a pretty big factor in Arizona last year. It's pretty much the number one option for running back behind Kyler Murray there. Goes to the Vegas Raiders, 2 years, $14.5 million. They got Josh Jacobs there currently, and he's a good running back. He came from Bama. Those Bama running backs, they're all just too big to believe. But Kenyon Drake is another Bama running back. You got 2 Bama running backs in the backfield. Not a bad sign, not a bad outlook. And he also had a good receiving and rushing ratio of yardage last year in Arizona. Yeah. So, could be a good option for Derek Carr out of the backfield.
In other news, somehow Bill Belichick still didn't get fined, and I'm kind of confused because
it won't happen, Shane. There was tampering, and the NFL said, you know what would be great for ratings this year? Would it be even better than the Chiefs? Let's have Tom Brady play the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Let's have it.
That would be so dumb.
We're getting our entire defense back and some for this season. We got Cam with a couple more weapons and a 2 tight end set that you haven't seen since the 2012, 2013 Pats.
That would be so. Let's not talk about that team. Yeah, they had a murderer on that team.
There was a couple of bad seasons there. Anyway, we lost to the Giants in 2012 there, and you're welcome. Oh, you gotta check the reel I sent you on Instagram because it's pretty funny.
Oh man!
But NFL players and their fathers, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Shane, let's move to the MLB, last major spot here. Again, still in spring training. Only real major news came out from today. Actually, Eloy Jimenez in a game. I think he went diving for a ball today, and
I don't even know, but that hurts, man. I love Eloy.
Tore his pectoral, out 5 to 6 months. That's big. That counts with
everything
rehabbing and man.
Everything, even breathing,
that's the muscles got to expand there too.
Yeah,
man. That hurts the White Sox too, because great defender. And
no, he's a horrible defender. He's
a good defender. He's had some good he's had some good stops in center field.
Eloy is the worst. I think he's the worst fielding left fielder in all of baseball. He's horrible in left field. Oh, Eloy is horrible in left field.
I don't know about that, bro. Eloy Jimenez has been a really for Chicago. No, he's been a terrible defender. Come on.
You're thinking of somebody else. You have to be.
No.
Eloy Jimenez is one of the worst fielders in baseball.
Fielding percentage last year, .986.
Don't look at fielding percentage.
Saved. Where's the run saved?
Like negative 20?
No, come
on.
Eloy
is horrible.
Stop giving him so much trash.
Bro, I'm not even trying to make a joke. Eloy Jimenez is one of the worst left fielders in baseball.
Bro, I cannot even find these stats here. Range factor, 1.67.
Eloy, you don't have to look at it. Take my word for it. The only reason why the White Sox outfield is good is because you have Luis Robert running everything down. Eloy is one of the worst defenders in left field.
I don't even know. Why was he starting in left field? And now he just got hurt.
He's one of the best hitters in baseball.
Then play him at DH. He was playing DH all last season.
You had Edwin Encarnacion who was holding up that spot.
Oh, brutal.
I'm telling you, there's a reason. Now, Edwin, nobody cares about Edwin. Even though he's still a stud, nobody cares about him. But
defensive run saved, -4.
He was bad, and that's for left field where you don't really get that many opportunities like that to be ruining stuff.
It would have to be coming through like a bases loaded man on second situation anyway, because if you're losing defensive runs saved on that, you got to be slow as hell and just all around like not. All right, I'll take your word for it.
He's there to hit.
I figured his name just because of his name all around like a decent like mix of a player in the White Sox. Yeah. I mean, he was already like a silver slugger. Like,
yeah, he's bad. Trust me, he's bad at left field.
Shane, the other news out of the MLB, Aaron Judge actually hit a home run after all the Yankees fans were disrespecting him blatantly too. Like, not even just on Twitter, like mid-game, just Judge, you're not the same. Judge, you're gonna blow it this season. How do you do that to our potential MVP, AL MVP this year?
It's funny because Michael K was like, "Hey, Aaron, a lot of the fans and people in the media are asking why, what happened to your power? It's disappeared." And he just smiled because he was mic'd up in game. He smiled and he was like, "One thing I really don't worry about with myself is power." So,
how are you going to question him on that? Come on.
He was like, "Yeah, no, spring training is not for me to hit home runs. Spring training is for me to work on hitting the ball the other way. One thing I don't worry about with me, G, Voight, Gary, the power is going to be there." And he was just like, "Yeah, you guys don't need to worry about the power. It's going to be there. No. I'm just trying to work on hitting the ball the other way." And I'm like, "Thank you, Judge."
And even that, like, even if he didn't have power and he was just hitting for contact for the entire season, the Yankees would still be good. The Yankees would still, and he'd probably still be an MVP.
No, he would lose value because he still strikes out a ton.
If he's hitting to the other, well, that's the other thing he's got to keep down is that his strikeouts need to go down this season. But if he's hitting balls to the other side, the batting average skyrockets. He gets into those positions, he scores a lot more runs, probably gets RBIs from DJ getting on base. Come on, man, he's still there.
Bring the robo umps just for Judge. Bring the robo umps just for Judge, and let him get his 356 batting average, 585 on base percentage, 82 home runs. He's gonna be a video game player.
He'll never see the ball below his legs again because they're just gonna not, or they'll just intentionally walk him every time. At-bat.
He's gonna be Barry Bonds winning the batting title with like 32 hits. Like Barry Bonds won the batting title with 135 hits, and that was the lowest ever. And that same year, Ichiro broke the hit record of like 260 something hits that season. And they both won the batting title. And I was like, how is that even possible? Barry Bonds wins with 130 hits because he got walked 150 times that year.
Oh my God.
I was like, Barry Bonds.
33.
Yeah.
God.
He got walked like a billion times that year.
Yeah. Bro.
And it's like, how do you win the batting title with under 150 hits? People that have that low hits usually
batting average was 370. He had 47 strikeouts. Oh my God, bro!
Because every time it's either he went up there, hit a home run, or he got walked.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because if you ever like watched Barry Bonds, like, and even in highlights, all his highlights are just like mostly his walks. Mm-hmm. He got walked with the bases loaded in like a late not postseason game, but like a late season, like deciding postseason game for like the Diamondbacks, and they were like, nah. We'll screw this game for ourselves.
Put them on.
I don't care if we lose to the pitcher coming up in the 3 spot. Barry Bonds is not walking us. Like,
I don't think we'll ever see that again. An intentional walk with the bases loaded, because they took steroids out the game. So unless Judge or Stanton goes on one of those runs, and even then they strike out too much. Barry Bonds did not strike out. That was the difference. So I don't know, bro.
Yeah, man. One of the last things we'll talk about, the VegasInsider.com World Series odds. There's only 8 real teams that they've got with good potential odds to win the World Series this year. Number 1 is the Dodgers to repeat. Number 2 is the Yankees. Number 3, Braves. Then Padres, White Sox, Mets, Twins, Tampa Bay Rays. Do you think the White Sox chances go down? Probably with the Eloy loss because, whole season pretty much gone. Yeah, if they lose a big bat, they're probably going to have to
come back for the playoffs. I don't know if Encarnacion is on the team. If he is on the team, then I would say.
I don't know if those 5 to 6 months include recovery though too, because that pec that's gonna need another like 3-4 weeks
No,
into
I
his
think
recovery
that's
for
what the
that.
5-6 months is.
It includes that recovery time too.
Recovery
If it
and
does,
ramp up,
then
yeah.
he'll probably be ready for the playoffs. I just, again, torn
He's
pec,
not
that's
going to be
big.
himself in
Yeah.
the playoffs. But hey, it's Eloy. You can wake that man up in the middle of the night in winter.
Need a bat. He'll shoot one 520 feet. Do not matter.
Give him a squirrel and a acorn and tell him to swing at the acorn with the squirrel, and he'll probably hit a 500-foot bomb.
It's like a squirrel with like the stuffing in it. He's gonna swing by the tail. Come on, bro.
I'm telling you, he's that guy. Like he's not gonna hit 300. He might, Loki. He's that good, but he's mostly that guy that's gonna hit 280 plus in a good year, 280 plus with 40 bombs in a good year. But is he healthy enough to ever do that? Hopefully, but you never know. The only team I disagree with on this list is the Rays. I don't see a rotation.
At the bottom.
I don't see a rotation of Michael Walker, Rich Hill. They have a bunch of bums. Glass now, he's still gonna have a 4 ERA. Like, yes, you're their ace, but with a 4 ERA, is that really an ace? That means you just throw hard. And they have nobody else to put at the number 1 spot. I don't know. I'll put the Blue Jays ahead of the Rays, but at the same time, the Blue Jays lost Kirby Yates for the year, Tommy John. So that's dead.
Wow.
The Blue Jays, and then, yeah, I don't know. Like, you can't really tell. I would just put 7 teams on this list because the Rays have no shot unless they make some crazy trade throughout the year or they call up Wander Franco and Vidal Brujan and all those guys, Luis Patino. If they do that, then they have a chance because them young guys are going to spark a fire. But if they go into the same team they had last year with the subtractions, no, I don't think they have a shot.
That's good points. I think Miami has a decent spot there too. They might make a late playoff push, probably like they did last season.
Miami
Marlins, the one who made the playoffs last year.
Nah, bro. No.
You keep those odds high because honestly, they were a real shocker last year. In the NL East this year, I wouldn't put it past them. The Braves on this? Oh, Braves are 3 on this list. They are, to be honest.
You have the Phillies who are better than them. Phillies are better than them.
Didn't show it last year. Didn't play the full
last year was 60 games. That's what I'm saying. If you played
but they got to go full 162?
Yes. Do you know who's on the Marlins? The Rays, the Phillies this year?
The only major re-signing I saw was Real Muto.
They have Real Muto is their catcher. Reese Hoskins, two returnees. Gene Segura, Didi, Alec Bohm, stud. He's going into his second year now. Stud. Then you have left field is who's their left fielder? Andrew McCutchen, healthy, stud. Center fielder is either going to be Odubel Herrera or Mickey Moniak, who's their number 1 prospect. Studs. Then you have Bryce Harper in right field. Stud. Their bullpen, which was the single worst bullpen in the history of baseball last year, they signed Alvarado from the Rays, who throws 100 miles an hour, a lefty, with sink, with movement, elite. Then you have David Robertson coming back. Is David Robertson back?
On the Phillies or just like from injury?
In the Phillies. On the Phillies.
I know he was back from injury. I think he did go back to the Phillies. Let me check that roster too.
I don't remember, but if he is, then you have David Robertson. You have Hector Neris, who was their closer last year. You have
I don't see
he might have signed somewhere else. I'm not gonna hold you. He might have signed somewhere else. Or he might even still be a free agent, to be honest.
I think he's still a free agent, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You have studs in that bullpen now.
Nola, Wheeler.
So, and then their rotation. Nola is the most underrated starter in baseball right now. He's a top 5. He's number 3 in WAR, I think, or he's ahead of Garrett Cole in pitching WAR.
Oh, okay, pitching WAR.
He's ahead of Garrett Cole in pitching WARs in the last 3 years, and Garrett Cole had that unreal season in 2019. So let's think about that. Then you have Zach Wheeler, who's elite, underrated. He's not gonna wow you. He's not gonna knock your socks off. But when you look at the end of the year, he's gonna have an under 3 ERA or just at 3. which is elite for a number 2 starter. Come on, bro. I don't know. The Phillies should be amazing.
They should be, but what they hello. They do. Yeah, but and I mean, Marlins, it was last year and the year before. The Marlins have pretty much retained.
You can pick anybody else.
The Marlins have pretty much retained the same team as last year, and they still have a decent outfield who can still hit. Their infield is like a young, mesh of guys. That's pretty much.
I like their infield better than their outfield. They got Garrett Cooper at first base. Aguilar as well.
Jazz Chisholm.
You have Jazz Chisholm is a stud. He's about to be a rookie, or he was a rookie last year. He's still technically a rookie now.
Service time, yeah.
That guy's a stud, and he's fast, and he hits bombs. And his name is Jazz. You can't go wrong with a name like Jazz, bro.
That was a Transformers name, bro. That's the only thing I remember about that. Jazz. It's like
there's an MLB The Show YouTuber. Every time he hits a home run with Jazz Chisholm in the game, he'd be like, "You like Jazz?" like Jazz. And it's like, man, like that's the type of people we need. Like Judge, it's like that's a cool name. Everybody else is kind of just there.
You had Brian Anderson at what was that? Third base.
Third base. You have Miguel Rojas at short.
Their infield's good. I like
second base.
Too. Nick Birdie. John Birdie.
John Birdie. I said Nick. Yeah, John Birdie at second base.
Yeah, Corey Dick. Well, Birdie actually thinks a utility guy too. Corey Dickerson
is a stud.
Yeah, he's hurt. I think to start the season though.
You have what's his name? Center fielder. Starling Marte. Stud.
Adam Duvall, right field.
He signed with the Marlins.
Yeah, man.
Hunter Renfroe signed with the Red Sox. I'm thinking Adam Duvall signed with the Red Sox. That's why I was like, what?
Hunter Renfroe? What?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. He's a bum. Somebody really cares about him.
Wait, Hunter Renfroe?
Yeah, he looks like Mike Trout, but then he swings like me.
He looks like Mike Trout plus like 30 pounds, but yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, their outfield is nice now. I didn't peep Adam Duvall went there. I thought Adam Duvall was still on the Braves.
Bro, they got a guy named Magnarius Sierra who's coming up. Yeah, and they got Lewis Brinson in there too.
Fast, bro.
Him and Lewis Brinson.
Oh my god, that dude is fast. He's almost up there with Buxton.
And Byron Buxton?
He's fast, bro. Sierra? Jesus Christ. That dude is fast.
Huh. I don't know. We got some good odds here for the baseball season. Again, baseball season starts. Oh my God, Shane, that's next week. Next week, April 1st, on the day. Finally. Yeah, I just heard that
have
Yankees
a Yankee
games.
Recap. Is that 1 o'clock?
Oh, yeah. We got opening day. Wait, who are they playing? It's Toronto, right?
Jeez. Yeah.
Yes, sir. First season, first win. Let's get it. Ace on the mound.
I can't wait for Gary Sanchez to go 0 for 4Ks against Hyun-Jin Ryu, and then
I'm sorry, you cut out Shane. Did you say 3 for 3 with 2 walks, 2 doubles, and a single that he beat out from third base? Yeah, that won't happen with Gary Sanchez, but I'd like to see it happen on opening day next week, Shane. Again, looking forward to MLB season coming up soon. NFL is getting into more of its draft time, but honestly, looking forward to the season that's coming up soon. There's a lot of mixed around players. We're looking at a real shake-up in the NFL. We look to see that more forward to after the draft. This has been the D-Rod and Shaniac Sports Podcast, episode 11.
It's the Gardy party. It's the Gardy party. Gardy party's back in town. I'm ready, bro. Let's do it.
I'm gonna get a spare baseball bat and just kind of play him out with that. Just bang my ceiling, put holes in the walls. I'm gonna go crazy this year, Shane.
If I wasn't gonna be at work during the Yankees game, I would watch it because it's Thursday.
I was gonna say their Amazon Prime is showing on Prime Video. They're showing 21 Yankees games this year, home Yankees games this year. I like it, especially because I still got that student discount on Prime. Still works.
Oh yeah, I don't have mine. Mine ran out.
I got you with the username and password. Doesn't matter.
No, I have Amazon. I just don't have the student discount. No, all right, episode 11. Episode 11. Let's get out of here.
Please keep following us on all social media. We still got on YouTube. Keep getting those counts up, those views up. We're on Twitter at DRodN, letter N, Shaniac Pod. Follow us on our individual accounts. That's at Thatsa_Shane. And I'm at DannyRod75. Keep following us.
Also,
we're still all over the internet with what's up, Shane?
We are on everything. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Pandora.
That's six different forms of media that you can go listen to us on.
Listen on all of them.
Pump out those numbers. Let's go.
Listen on all of them. Every last one of them at the same time.
One at the same time. When you're asleep,
also,
just let it run.
Just let it run. Also, sub to my YouTube, Shaniac the Hummer. I had a video came out today.
Videos up.
It was very bad. Hated it.
I honestly
had a good time
wet
doing
noodle
it.
Conspiracy. Swinging the wet noodle.
Yo, that team was so bad. All right, let's get out of here. I gotta go. This was fun. Episode 11. Peace out, guys.
Get it to the next one. Peace.